All right, everybody, this is yours truly, Frankie Wilson, on the air right now, and I'm really excited about what's going on. I got to take my glasses off. You know, people take their shades off.
Right.
I got to take my glasses off for this. My vision is actually very good.
Okay.
Don't fall for the okie doke.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited, though, because I have Nerdboi Johnson in the building with me, as well as his manager, Miss Shamiglia Kaysen, in the house with me. And, man, you know, we're talking about Nerdboi music. We're talking about the new CD that is out for people to get right now. And so, you know, I'm just happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I've been chasing you down for a while. You know,
for a long minute.
I'm chasing after you like Bashan
oh, man.
You know, but I'm feeling good because it led to something.
Okay, good.
Right now. So I'm definitely happy about that. So, I mean, talk to us a little bit. A lot of people out there know about Nerdboi Johnson, but then there are some people that still are trying to figure it out, trying to find out more about you. So why don't you let our listeners know who Nerdboi is?
Just a young dude, man, that's trying to get out the word of Christ. You know, to let other young people know that we can do this still struggling, going through different crazy things. God is still a deliverer. He can still captivate you just where you are. So it's just, you know, trying to send another message out nowadays. Not so traditional and not so, you know, church looking, but just like, okay, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to bring God, and I know He can refine me and polish me up just where I am. So that's kind of the message I'm trying to send out to the people and to the young people, you know, just to come on in. Let's do this thing for the kingdom.
Absolutely. It's really, really amazing to me just how relevant you are, not just in the sound, but in the look. Yes, but then on top of that, that's relevant to the younger generation, but relevancy to the Word of God and to the Spirit of God. Just the same. That's something that really stood out about me, which was one of the reasons I really wanted to reach out to you. So I got to ask you a couple of questions real quick about, you know, when you got started and why you even decided. You could have gone anywhere, but you decided to go this way, you know, as far as in gospel music. Talk to us about that.
Just the deliverance of God. So many people said what they was going to do and how they was going to help me and how I can go do jazz or I can do R&B and I can make this kind of secular record or whatever. But it's just like when I seen God where I was, and I was a cutter, so I cut myself, and you know, I feel like, you know, getting out of that is something that's crazy.
It's huge.
Yeah, who can deliver you out of something like that? Nobody but God. So once He delivered me from that, I told Him whatever He wanted me to do, whatever He wanted me to say, I would say it. Wherever I would go, I would proclaim His name. And man, it's been crazy ever since that. So it's just like I've been delivered from that from like 6 years now. So just like, man, after that, I just told God, whatever you want me to do. It's just like, that's a huge God to deliver you from something like that. Absolutely. So I know, you know, if I chose His word and I chose His music and I chose what He wanted me to do, I couldn't go wrong.
Right. I'm glad you expounded on that a little bit more, because there are a lot of listeners that may have gone over their head a little bit, but you just went into something that's very deep and actually is very, very real when it comes to the lives of people that are in Christ and people that are out of Christ just the same. You're able to minister to them. Do you mind just going a little deeper with us, with our listeners, helping us to understand what that background is before you got there?
Okay, I was probably 7th, 8th grader. I studied witchcraft. So that led me into cutting myself, like the seances. I don't know if we can talk about this on
Go right ahead, brother.
But you know,
we're on the record.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Just, you know, like the different things that witchcraft had to offer, you know, it was dealing with cutting yourself. So once God delivered me from that, it's like God does things step by step. He can't take it out from you at once because it'll kill you. But especially, it depends on how deep you are in. But, you know, once I was delivered from that, the pain of me cutting myself was still intense. And it was still something that I was struggling and dealing with. So around 10th grade, I was in a stall, and I go to stall number 2, you know, and stall number 2 is like the stall where you can see and you can hear, you know, who's coming in, who's not supposed to be in there, whatever. You can see all that, because I didn't want nobody, of course, seeing me cut myself, because it's weird. But and I knew that. But you know, one Tuesday I went in there, man, and getting ready to cut myself, and I was just like, I heard a voice was like, "Don't do it," and I'm like, who is this in here with me? I'm normally good at, you know, peeping the scene, so I'm like, who is this in here with me? So I went to do it again, and it was like, don't do it this time. Like, just leave it alone, give it up. And man, I seen something come over the stall, like a spirit come over the stall. And you know, being that I was Baptist, you know, traditional, they didn't teach us about spirits, and you know, I got introduced to some things through witchcraft. So it's like when I seen that Spirit of God, man, and it was just like, don't do it no more, go to the auditorium. So I went to the auditorium, and at this time they was doing like you know, voting Mr. Sophomore, Mr. Senior, different stuff like that. And I went to vote, man. And I seen my name on this sheet, like on different, like best dressed male and best male vocalist, and I seen all this stuff. And I'm like, man, these kids talking about me. And God was just like, man, I want to use you. You think that you're not popular. You think that you don't mean nothing. You think that, you know, people look over you, but that's not the case. You see all these kids voting for you, and that right there just let me know, you know, I have so many people looking at me, and I have so many people watching me. I can't let them down because of the God that they see on me, and I didn't want to let Him down. Then He delivered me from stuff before this. dealing with diabetes before at 14. So I'm just, God, he delivered me from so much. I just couldn't let him down at this one. So at this big step I'm at, I'm just like, God, I can't let you down, man, at this. So I just gave it up and I never looked back, and I'm here now.
What a beautiful, beautiful testimony. And it's really important for people to know that and understand sometimes the background. People just get caught up sometimes in the sound and don't know the story behind the sound.
Correct.
Altogether. That really helps for the anointing to minister even more. It makes you very significant just the same. Now, I know you didn't get to that point by yourself, of course, but it was with the support of many friends and even family, which, of course, I got to go to your now manager.
Right.
But also family just the same.
Yeah.
Shamikia, who I'm certain was right there in the thick of it with him.
Yeah.
So just tell me about that, how that was, watching him go through the transition, or even, when he was in it.
Well, actually, he's not Nerdboi to me, he's Brennan. When Brennan was going through everything he was going through, I was in college. And Brennan was obese at the time. Brennan was dealing with a bunch of issues.
Stop. Okay. This is a lot to take in.
Right. Yeah.
All at one time.
Crazy.
If you guys go to the website at least and check him out, and hear his brother say he was obese.
I was, man. I was
Really?
huge, dude. Yes. I was huge.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really
so
a walking
she was
testimony.
there. Yeah, she was there day one, dude. Yeah, I'm a walking testimony.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Brennan was obese. Brennan was dealing with a lot of things. My aunt sheltered him a lot. So, and even in this interview, we're being so candid. We've never been able to just talk about it. And so it's all for the sake of letting people know.
Absolutely.
To save others. But as kids, other kids sheltered away from him. My aunt protected him. You know what I mean? And it was like I would literally, when he was little, when she wasn't looking, I would pinch him.
Wow.
Why? Because he was always sheltered. Don't mess with him. Don't this, So to say, when he was going through that transition, I was very close but distant because I was in school. And so by the time that I came back and I was going through my own personal testimony, going through my own things, and we hooked back up during his toy chest of last year. That's how long the disconnect was there.
Wow.
Right.
So we hooked back up during the toy chest, and I was simply just supposed to just come in and help him put that toy chest together and go on about my business and go back to school, and it just manifested into something totally different. So to know that he went through that is painful. It does hurt. Even now, in walking now, you can see what a person has been through. Although that is delivered from him, you know that he still sees that hurt sometimes. He still experiences that pain again.
Yeah.
And we can go through things in life that will almost push us back. Or make us think about going back.
True.
You know what I mean? So definitely, this dude is. I try to separate the family and the business, and it's so hard because I have to stay on him on one end, and on one end I want to love him, hug him, and do all of that. But this guy really has a message, and my point is for the world to know about him. I mean, it's necessary because if you know his story, others will be saved.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
We can be real. Be loosening everything in here.
I'm enjoying
Seriously.
this, man. I'm really enjoying this.
Good. Well, I think that's actually very, very beautiful and very, very real. What you say, being able to balance family and business, because it's not as easy,
at
as
all.
it seems at all.
And then another thing too, I heard her say, sometimes you can go back. You can. But it's very necessary that you have somebody that'll hold you accountable. Yeah, you have to be being delivered from some crazy things, man. You have to have people to have that's stable and grounded enough to be accountable over your life too.
Right.
Not just you say, okay, I got this. I'm anointed. I got the glory. That's good. But sometimes you need people, that's wrong, Doc. Come on back in. You need some people to reel you back in. And that's what she is for me. And a lot of people are like, man, how did she just all of a sudden just everything over? It's because God did it. Honestly, I got to be honest with you. I didn't pick her to be my manager. I didn't pick her because she's so crazy. She's like my mama, man. She's crazy. So I didn't pick her to be. So I didn't pick her to be. I didn't pick her to be. My manager. God done. I mean, all of this, the whole plan, man. God done this. And I even looking back on it, sometimes I just look at my phone when she calling and fussing and yelling at me. I'm looking like, man, how is this chick my manager? But right. But this is God. This is all God. Because it changed the whole lot. I mean, period.
So that's a beautiful thing because you're saying not only is the ministry helping to affect others, but it's affecting you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Shaking up some things.
Yes.
So we got to get into that. It's a good caveat into the ministry of Nerdboi.
Right.
Just the same. Something that I see all the time, and for those of you that have the opportunity, we're going to give you all the information on how you can follow Nerdboi on Facebook, on Twitter, check him out on his website, just the same, because I do that. Okay. And one of the things that I do notice is all the time, it is, God, I want you to get the glory. God, I love you. I want, I hope you're proud of me, and I hope, and it's always so sincere and so intense when this is a total 180. from where you came from.
Yes, sir.
So now the ministry is reflective of that, but you have a very unique way of ministering to our young people and just to people altogether. So tell me about the brand itself, Nerdboi.
Okay, well, one day sitting in the classroom, you know, you have like different people in the class. You got some people in the back shooting dice. You had some doing hair in the classrooms. You had some gospeling, but you had like one student really listening. So I took that and I was like, okay, come on Fridays and we taking a test and we out cheating off the nerd's paper because we know he got it. Kind of like that in the church too. You know, you got all these people in the back chewing gum, passing notes, getting up, walking out of church. You know, go give me a drink of water, go do this, go do that. But when the word is going forth, no one is listening but the elders, the praise and worship leaders, everybody that's in the forefront of the church. But when it's time for us to get deliverance, when it's time for us to get healed or, you know, bring us back to our right minds, we'll go to those people instead of, you know, eating off the atmosphere, what was already put in the word. Right there, that was already put in the atmosphere. We cheated. So it's just like, it's like that. And I got that from, you know, the classroom. And I was like, man, I'm going to call myself Nerdboi. Since I'm not the cool guy, you know, I'm not invited to all the cool things because you think I'm so deep or you think I'm, you know, this little weird dude, you know. So I guess I call myself Nerdboi.
But it's become one of the coolest things out there right now. I mean, I'll never forget the first time I was able to see you live was at a skating rink. First time I actually ever heard of a concert being held at the skating rink. And I thought that was an outstanding idea. Thought it was brilliant. And I went and I see these people walking around in these big glasses, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I just need to catch up because that's the new fad. But it wasn't just that it was fad; it was that they were representing what Nerdboi was all about. But you know, representative of what Nerdboi was all about, so it's catching on.
Yes, sir.
It's big. You know, let's go into the music itself.
Okay.
You got a song. I'm so glad we're finally at this point.
Yes, sir.
Bruh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, the first one I want to hit on.
Okay.
If you guys go and check out the website, shoot the website real quick.
www.nerdboimusic.com. That's Nerdboi.
If you go to the website and you check out the music or check out the media, brother has a song on there called New Shoes.
Tell me about that.
Now the song is off the chain.
Dope,
the song is great.
Dope.
It's a concept. I gotta ask you, where did you even get this concept?
I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm sitting in the studio, and my producer was like, his name is Real Noise. He was like, man, you need some jumpers, some bubbles on here. So I was like, man, you know, I ain't into all of that. He was like, nah, dude, you need to do this. So he was like, one day he was sitting in his car and he was thinking about, man, I hadn't had a new pair of shoes in years. And he was like, what can you do with this song? So he gave it to me, and we was just like, we worked on it for like 2 days. You know, that's kind of like normally not us. You know, we write something so fast. But we worked on it for like 2 days, and he was just like, man, we got to think about these shoes. So we looked. I had a new pair of shoes in my suitcase because I went to St. Louis to work on my album. So I had a new pair of shoes in my suitcase, and I was just looking at how they smelled, how they looked. You know, how when you put them on, you didn't want to walk everywhere. You didn't want to step in no mud. You know, you want to be so tight in your new shoes. You want to have on some new gear. So we just analyzed that shoe, man, and came up with some dope lyrics and put it together.
Lyrics are ridiculous.
Yes, man.
Like, wow.
I mean, you really could play that song in a club, and people be like, that's a gospel song. I mean, that's a Christian artist, you know? That I always want to hear that.
Yeah. It's about being cavalier sometimes in your approach.
Right.
You know, to be able to get the message across.
To go over, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Universal.
Another song that's on there, Unlock Me, which is really, really gaining a lot of notoriety amongst our audiences and whatnot. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that song goes even deeper into your spirit of worship and whatnot. And how serious is that song to you?
It's so serious because I came from a place of just religion. I always wanted to be intimate with God, but didn't really know how because I was so scared of Him. But when I talked to him and actually found out he was a cool dude, I was just like, you know what, God, unlock me. You know, so many people have locked me away from my own self. So just unlock me so I can be free from myself and I can love you again and I can be closer to you and have an understanding of what you want me to do. So that's where that song came from, Unlock My Heart, Lord. You know, make me free, because so many people teach us a way of them, not just the way of Christ. And so, I mean, I was tired of that. You know, I wanted to be intimate with God, but didn't really know how. So that was my way of saying, God, you know what, unlock me. You know, I want to enter the place of worship. I want to see your angels. I want to reverence them with you, you know. So when I was sitting on the porch, actually, and God just gave me those words, and I wrote them down and put a melody to them, and that's what we got.
I got to ask you, if you could take a step back, looking at what you've been through up to this point. There's probably even more that you haven't exposed us to up to this point. When you finally decided to go into the music ministry itself, what was one of the first times that you really saw that this is a real ministry and you saw people's lives being changed? And how did that affect you?
Ooh, 11th grader. I'm on the stage, and I'm in school, actually. And at this time, I was one of the big kind of popular dudes, because at this time, I could really, I was singing and everybody was noticing me. And that's when God delivered me in the 10th grade, but I was an 11th grader. And had sang and sent the people in the auditorium. They just went crazy in. And afterwards, kids was running to the backstage, and it was like, they were crying, and they was like, can you pray for me right now? Can you help me? I need help. I don't know what it is about you, what you have on you, but I know you can get me to where I need to be. And that right there, man, I was 11th grader, like 17, 18. I'm like, what? That right there changed my whole life. And from then, I was just like, this is what I'm called to. I'm called to help people that's crazier than me, that's just like me. And I was just like, I wasn't taught it. I wasn't taught it in church. They looked over me in church. They set me down in church. They told me I was a weird looking kid with a crazy haircut and all this stuff. So they looked over me, but it was actually people that was really needing me and really needing my heart of worship towards God and to needing to get, that same intimate relationship with Him. But that's what changed my life, man. Just knowing, these kids like thugs, man, trying to get it in with God. So that changed my whole life, and it let me know I was supposed to be here.
That's a beautiful thing. Nerdboi Music, tell us again how we can follow you, how we can find your music. Just tell us about the Facebook, the Twitter, the website. Let our people know.
You can hit me up on www.nerdboimusic.com. That's NERDBOIMUSIC.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Nerdboi Music, Facebook, Nerdboi Johnson, and all that good stuff. I'm on there.
Nerdboi Johnson, Nerdboi Music, and I'm happy that you're here. Gotta ask you one more, because I told you multiple things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I gotta ask you another one, man. You have already surpassed the amount of time that people say you go through puberty. And you start feeling yourself.
Yes, sir.
Some people say you start smelling yourself. You see that you're being successful in certain things, so you deal with more temptation.
Yes,
sometimes.
Sir. Wow.
There are some other people out there that are in the same field. How have you been dealing with that?
My cousin.
Really?
Mika. And not my manager, not my road manager, not her being, my assistant, but my cousin. And again, I say accountability, man, is everything. I gotta be honest if I can. I've been in some crazy situations with friends about their girlfriends now, man, and about different people, the chicks coming, wives coming to me, coming to me and making me look like the bad guy. But if she wasn't there, just to see everything that goes on through the web, through text messages. And again, I'll say, if you're an artist, if you somebody that's real deep in the music and you're real good at what you do, always have somebody next to you. You can't respond. I'm a lover. I'm a loving guy. I love to respond to everybody, but you can't, And if you do, you need to have somebody right there with you. Save messages, save all kind of things, because man, people will set you up, and you just want to be pure for God. You don't want to be like that, but it comes to those times that you have to and pray, stay in your word, and sometimes us as artists can get vulnerable, get lonely, because it's a lonely road. Have somebody there that just love you. Don't worry about your name, your artist name, how dope your music is. Somebody that just love who you are. And I personally thank my cousin, man, because if it wasn't for her, I would be in some crazy stuff.
So, anything you want to say to that?
Just mainly for any other artist, this is pressure. To be in that place, it's a lot of pressure. To know he's tempted, he's human.
Of course.
And I wish that all of the artists would be human. Everyone understand you all make mistakes. They even have beef. You're human. Don't box yourself into the fact that we're Christian artists and you walk this fine line, because you do not. And as long as everyone is on the same page, loving one another in fellowship, and when you have aught with your brother, you sit down and you talk to them. All of this it's all the same. We really can get past it. So Nerdboi is human, and like you said, he tries to hit everybody up on Facebook, and I tell you can't do that. Everybody, hey, you just can't do it. But that's him. So that everything is all good.
The temptation, man, it can be sometimes risky, tasky, and all that good stuff, but just the love of God, and God covers all. Right. And His blood covers all. And you just have to be, but the temptation is crazy. At a young boy, if I knew this is where God wanted me to be, I would probably say no way. All the stuff that's been coming to me, man, is crazy, but I just know God is a God of love, and I know where His heart comes from. So that's just why I want to be. And I don't like turning people away, saying no, all this good stuff, but it's about ministry. And if we can turn it into ministry and stop always falling in love with our assignments. You can't.
Gotta preach, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the nerd. What we trying to get him
but
right past.
But yeah, man, falling in love with your assignments can get you in trouble. So I'm gonna leave that alone.
That's
but,
good.
Yeah.
That's good. We're gonna settle that later. We'll work out the details of that.
Okay.
You get a piece of that too.
Okay, cool.
Hey man, praise God.
Yes,
First, we got Nerdboi Johnson in the building once again. Miss Shamika Casing with us just the same. One more time before we get out of here, and we want you to bring us in for your new single, Unlock Me, if you don't mind. Tell them how they can find you one more time. Facebook, the Twitter, the website, and where they can purchase the music.
Okay. Oh, also iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, all that good stuff. Rhapsody, yeah, all of that. You can find me on there. The whole album is on there, Nerd's Journey. You can follow me on Twitter at Nerdboi Music, Facebook, Nerdboi Johnson, YouTube, Nerdboi TV, that's NERDBOI, music, music.com. And then, follow me, hit me up. Like this stuff, I'm there.
Real music, real ministry, friends. This is yours truly, Frankie Wilson, and Nerdboi is in the building. Really, really happy to have you here again. Why don't you lead us into this new single?
This is Unlock Me, guys. I hope you love it. Hope it ministers to your heart and open you up to something new with God. Unlock Me.